Hi everyone, in this recipe we're going to be making tagliatelle pasta with mushroom sauce. So for that we need some olive oil for frying up. We've got some mushrooms over here, about 400 grams, and I've got one whole onion sliced, 2 cloves of garlic, and some coriander just for garnishing at the end. I've also got some dried porcini, which is roughly around 12.5 grams, and I've got about a cup and a half of water. I've got the Philadelphia garlic and herb cheese, soft cheese, which I'm going to use half the packet, roughly 85 grams. We've got about 40 grams of cheese for the end, and we've got about a third of a cup of heavy cream. And you'll also need some black pepper, some salt for seasoning, and you obviously need your pasta. This I'm using from Tesco is the tagliatelle pasta. It's the ones that I kept in the fridge, and this is about 400 grams. This recipe should serve roughly 3 to 4 people. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up my pan, and I'm going to heat up about, I'd say 2 to 3 teaspoons of oil. And into this, what I'm going to do is just add in my garlic, a little bit of it, while it's cold. So what this would do is infuse the oil with the garlic flavor. You don't need to add all of it, just a little bit, because otherwise your garlic has a tendency to burn. In the meanwhile, what I'm going to do is into my dried porcini. These are some dried mushrooms. You could also use dried wild mushrooms. I'm going to add in the water. And I'm just going to let it sit there and reconstitute so that we can add it in when we're ready, and we're just going to roughly chop it up if needed. So let that sit there and let the gas heat up, let the pan heat up, and once it's hot enough we're going to add in our mushrooms and our onion mixture. So just wait. And I know it does look like a lot of mushrooms, but it's actually going to cook down to nothing, so don't really think like, oh, that's too much mushroom. So that looks a bit hot. What I'm going to do is just, this looks hot enough to me. I'm just going to add in the onion and the mushroom. Use my hand for this actually. And if you wanted to, you could also add in some dried chilies or dried pepper flakes at this point. Now, what I'm going to do, because I want it to cook down, I'm just going to add some salt, which is to taste, and some black pepper, freshly ground. I'm going to mix it up and let it cook down for about 7 to 8 minutes, and we'll be back. So this has been sauteing for about 7 to 8 minutes now. I'd say a bit longer than that. And also I forgot to mention, make sure right at the start of your cooking you have a whole pan filled with water and brought to a boil with salt into it. That's going to be for your pasta. And at this point into the cooking, I'm going to add in my dried porcini, which has now got fully plumped up from the water. And I'm just going to add that in, and make sure you don't discard that water. We're going to add that in a bit. I'm going to lower the heat to medium because I had it on high heat, and just saute them for a little while. I'd say about 2 to 3 more minutes. And once I start adding in the cream and the cheese and everything, that's when we're going to add in the pasta to the boiling water. And cook it according to package instructions. You might have the dry version of the pasta, you might have the fresh version. The fresh version is what I have, so it's going to take about roughly 5 minutes for me to cook. You can go the dry one, I'd say in 9 to 10 minutes. And you could also feel free to do it with linguine or with spaghetti. You don't have to stick to this type of pasta. At this point you can also check your seasoning for salt and pepper. Mine's are perfectly fine, I've given them a nice taste. So what I'm going to do is, I say Cook it for about another minute longer. And add in a little bit of the mushroom water. Don't add all of it in because the last part is a bit gritty. You can see this is creating a great sauce. And it's also going to soften the mushrooms. We're not going to add in the cream or anything else until this water evaporates. And I have kept a little bit of the water behind because I'm going to need some more maybe. Or you can also use your pasta water. It's the best thing to add into a sauce. Now this seems like it's evaporated, so what I'm going to do at this stage is, if I can find my pasta, add in the boiling water. And then we'll be back. Okay, so I managed to find my pasta and I'm just going to add in a little bit of the pasta at a time. Make sure the water comes up to a boil, and it's best if you have a really wide pan. I'm just going to add all of it in. What I'm also going to do is just grab a pair of tongs to give it a stir. So just, oops. Make sure you don't do this, what I've done. Just mess the whole cooker up. So just let this come up to a boil again. Once again, and it will take about another 5 minutes or so to cook. So in the meanwhile, we're going to get back to the mushrooms. Lower the heat. And we're going to add in the Philadelphia cheese. About half the packet. Maybe more if required, but we'll just start off with half and we'll see. It's going to take about half of it. And this is filled with garlic and herbs that go great with mushrooms. So I'm going to take that down and just cook with it. It will take some time to melt into your sauce, but just stir it in and let it melt and cook through. And in the meanwhile, make sure you give your pasta a stir, because it will stick if you don't. Many people complain that their pasta ends up sticking. This is the whole point. If you don't stir it in the first few minutes, it will stick. So that's it. And let's get back to the sauce. This seems like it's melted well. At this point, lower the heat to complete simmer. Should be really low. And I'm going to add in my cream. It's about 1/3 of a cup. I'm just going to use my spoon to scrape off the last few bits, because we all love cream in a sauce. I'm just going to give it a stir and cook it for about 2 more minutes and we'll be back. Okay, so this has been simmering for about almost 3 to 4 minutes now while the pasta is cooked as well. This is the stage where we're going to add in the pasta to the sauce. And don't drain the pasta, okay? This is a really key step. Don't drain the pasta, just use tongs like so and just kind of take them up and drop into the sauce. What this does, it has some of the cooking water, which is starchy, and this is going to create more of a sauce and thicken it and make it really luxurious and velvety. So I added the pasta in and I gave it a stir, and it's really creamy sauce. What I'm going to do, make it even creamy and rich, I'm going to add in my cheese. That's about 40 grams of cheese, not much, I'd say about a handful. And give this a stir before adding in the herb, which in my case is going to be some coriander. So just stir it in. Some tongs would give help, but I can't find my silicone tongs and I don't want to scratch this non-stick pan. So what I'm going to do is turn the gas off, sprinkle in my coriander, and this is the finished recipe. and hope you guys like it. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe and get me up and running. Thank you. Bye bye.